You guys, my name is Daniel Puter. I'm here with Center for Social Change, and you're about to get a treat. Today, you guys, we have somebody that's changing water. Now, water's rising in Miami. We're having sewer challenges. We're having major challenges in some parts of this world. Collin Schladweiler is the outreach coordinator for Miami Waterkeeper, and you guys are working to solve water problems.
Yeah, we're trying. Yeah, our mission is basically to ensure swimmable, drinkable, and fishable water. So that touches everyone in South Florida.
So in Miami, you guys, okay, so the water allegedly is rising.
Yeah.
The beaches are going away.
Slowly and surely.
In California, I used to see, because I grew up in California, like in Malibu, the beaches were used to be massive, and now there's hardly any more beach.
Yeah.
So it's crazy that people are not understanding the real dangers to what's happening, because they're just living their normal life. But where you buy property, the investment you put in the community, where you put your company, like people spend millions of dollars into, let's say, relocating a company somewhere that has major challenges, right?
Yeah, it's very challenging, and part of the problem there is that when you look at these projections for sea level rise and climate change, you can get all these different scientists saying different things, and that some of these projections might be less, and people are like, oh, we don't have to worry about it. It's very conservative, very not so much, we need to change. And then some parts are like, oh, this is going to be actually a lot faster than what we think. And so kind of finding a middle ground amongst all that uncertainty and trying to convince whether that's our elected officials or just your everyday teachers or anyone in South Florida or anywhere in the United States that this is a problem has been very interesting. But we're seeing it every day now. I mean, these king tides have been happening in October, November. Have you seen them on the news?
I have not. I don't watch much news.
Okay.
Because I don't know what to believe these days, because I don't know what's really going on.
Yeah, so like king tides are happening. They happen a couple times a year, no matter what.
Okay.
But now they're getting a little bit more intense. They're getting a lot higher. Matheson Hammock Park, for example, actually was completely underwater. Or I think earlier in October.
Yeah.
And so what people don't understand is that when sea level rises like that, it impacts things like our sewage systems. Those are compromised. Septic tanks, once they're just a few feet below the surface of the soil. So when the water column rises, once the water touches that septic tank, it basically is compromised. And all that
because of salt water, right?
Not just salt water, it's just the fact that water table has touched that septic tank.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Because the flow is different than how the water flows.
So septic tanks, you want it to go in, all your stuff, and then you want it to settle up through the soil.
Got it.
But if you have the water column touching the septic tank, it doesn't have that opportunity to filter out. And so it's basically just going directly into the water column.
That's not good.
Not great. Yeah, not good. And another thing is that when the sea level rises, all the bacteria and things that are actually dormant in the soil and not really causing problems are able to touch that water and go back out, which is maybe a cause for all these other beach closures that we're seeing, high bacteria spikes. And we're trying to be on top of kind of figuring out how it's correlated and kind of what's causing it.
And then you guys are working with Florida Electrical, right?
Yeah, we're trying to. Yeah, we're trying to talk about Florida Power and Electric, the Turkey Point power plant.
It's only been open 80 years.
It's now just got approved for an extension and will be the longest running nuclear power plant in the world. And they are not taking into account the full effects of the potential sea level rise down there. It's a power plant right on the coast.
Where?
I believe south of here. I just moved here not too long ago, but I believe it is south.
Okay.
I'm not sure the exact location.
So that's not good if a nuclear power plant goes boom.
Not good if it goes underwater regardless, because we want our infrastructure to be surpass us and be okay. But it's really bad because they say, oh, it's not. The license will end essentially right when it says, oh, that's when the sea level rise will take effect. But if any of that happens before, they're not prepared, and we're trying to make sure that it doesn't happen. We want clean energy and a clean environment. So
will they just shut it down if it goes underwater? I'm guessing. Hopefully.
I don't know. I can't speak on that. Really.
Because that's really bad to not take into account. And most people don't know this, do they?
We're trying to spread the word. We're trying to tell people that this nuclear power plant should be taking into account all of these other aspects of climate change, sea level rise, especially as a nuclear reacting power plant right on the coast. they should be taking measures and maybe not extending the life of this already very old nuclear power plant, one of the oldest in the country.
Wow.
So they should be taking sustainable measures. They should be thinking about resiliency. But really all they're thinking about is generating as much power. And of course, South Florida needs power. We're not saying that like shut it down and we all go dark. But we need to be investing in other areas and investing in resiliency plans.
What if we just put solar cells over the whole entire crazy snake pit out there?
I don't know. Everglades is very important though. So
No, I'm just joking. That's a joke.
I know.
But maybe half of it. No, I'm joking.
No.
Okay. So this is a major challenge with the water rising. We're having floods. So one of my friends up in north of Miami, they were flooding like 2 years back because the water was rising to a certain level. Mm-hmm. With waves that are bigger that are coming in, that's not good because we don't have big waves in Florida.
No.
But now we have bigger waves, so that's not healthy. Power plants going underwater, saltwater, that's not good. Yep. We saw what happened in Japan.
Yeah, and it's not not even that eventually it'll go underwater. We already have data that shows that the cooling canal system that it uses to cool its process essentially is actually leaking out a lot of salinity and things into the environment and makes it hypersaline around the plant, which is affecting the ecosystems. So it's already showing signs of it, but it's just getting that message out and trying to get people to make changes is the difficult part.
So what would you guys need to, let's say, impact that decision? Do you guys need a petition? Do you guys need votes?
We need a lot of people to stand behind us. We need people in our communities to show up and tell your elected officials kind of what's going on, what they want, and show them that you know what's going on. At Miami Waterkeeper, we go to commission meetings, we go to public comments, we go to all these different things, but it doesn't make a difference if we always show up, essentially. But if we have other people coming and expressing concern, showing that they're educated on the subject and actually really care, that's like the biggest call to action that we could have, is have people come to our events, come to all these different public outings and express your concern. People listen.
Do you really, okay, so I see if somebody if they own a home here, mm-hmm. there's a bigger concern.
Yeah.
So compared to if somebody doesn't own a home, right? There's not as much roots maybe invested, but I don't find when you go to these commission meetings, how many people really show up? A couple hundred?
Yeah, around there.
Out of a couple million? Mm-hmm. What's crazy is I don't get why people don't commit to spending a little bit of time understanding what's going on in their county.
Yeah, and we try to get the messaging out. Sometimes it's the messaging too. Mm-hmm. Social media and getting things out in press releases is really hard, especially to touch everyone else. A lot of times it trickles down to here's going to your municipality, spread it to everyone, and that stops at certain levels, and not everyone is aware. But here at Miami Waterkeeper, we try to get a big following base on our social media platforms, our website, email, and we try to inform people when we have these alert to actions or call to actions that basically shows them where to go, when to show up, and we actually even give them talking points if they don't want to write up something themselves. Mm-hmm. And that really helps out because it's if you just want to go up there and you want to pick something that you want to talk about and just read it, that's all we ask. It's you come, you support kind of what we're doing, our work. And yeah, we need a lot more people coming out and expressing, because out of those 200 people, a lot of times, you don't want a lot of people coming up because then it kind of floods out kind of what you're trying to say. Mm-hmm. But if you have a decent amount of 200 people show up, and let's say 70 of those people come to talk on sea level rise and compromised sewage systems, yeah, I would say they would listen and they would hear that. So
interesting. So as coordinator, what do you do?
As coordinator, well, see, at Miami Waterkeeper, we're a very small organization, and we're all wearing lots of hats. We're trying to balance it out, but
and we're in the Center for Social Change. So you guys have your headquarters here?
Yep, we have our headquarters here.
And the Center for Social Change, isn't this place amazing?
It's amazing.
Look at this artwork.
I know, beautiful artwork. Just in time for Art Battle.
Barbara Frank,
yep,
I know.
Barbara Frank, yep.
So they just put all this stuff in all this Center for Social Change so they could actually sell it. So you can buy this piece for $6,300.
Wonderful.
And then it's crazy how much art goes for it. I love stick figure art. Oh. And I'm thinking about, there's $10,000 paintings for stick figure. You just draw a stick figure.
Really?
Well, yeah.
You saw the banana and a duct tape that just sold at Art Basel 2 days ago?
Yeah.
For $120,000. It was just a banana duct taped to a whiteboard. They sold 2 of them.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's what makes America America.
Yeah, here we are.
Okay, so let's go back. So you're in Center for Social Change.
Center for Social Change. I'm outreach coordinator. Yeah, so one of my main things is organizing kind of our community outreach events. So whether that's our 1,000 Eyes on the Water trainings, or it's our volunteer events on the weekends, like habitat restoration, different educational initiatives, K through 12. We do different field experiences. And I also do a lot of the public comment, a lot of our blogs and things like that. I do a little bit of everything, and I also do that, help out on the water quality monitoring team every Monday and Tuesday. I'm the one that goes out, collects samples with the team, and goes and tests it for bacteria.
That's cool.
Yep.
So I got a question. So could we use, I'm a superintendent of some private schools here. Could we utilize some of our kids to go out with you guys and use it as science class?
Yeah, we could definitely organize something. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, we actually we're actually trying to expand our base of schools that we work with, because we're developing new programming for K through 12, whether that is kind of a training of trainers for teachers in using our water quality, or we organize field trips, or we have our yearly junior ambassador program where we take students from certain schools, get them together in a big pool, and basically for a whole year program, there are junior ambassadors. They go with us to service events. They learn about civic and community advocacy about these topics, and how to talk, public speaking skills. Yeah.
Amazing.
It's great, yeah, and we're trying to expand that programming a lot. And I just started not too long ago with Miami Waterkeeper, and that's one of my main goals, is to start expanding these programs and help support them. So
you said you're not from here originally.
I am not, no.
Where are you from?
I'm from Minnesota.
Okay, I can see that. Okay,
Yep.
awesome. Okay.
Yep, I escaped the north.
So did you move down here because it was warmer?
No, I actually moved down here for the job. It actually wasn't. I was living in Philippines, over in Asia, before this, and so yeah.
How'd you like the Philippines?
Loved it.
It's nice. I haven't gone yet, but some of my friends have.
It is beautiful. They're actually facing a lot of the same issues that we are here.
Wow.
Yeah.
But they don't have the resources that we do.
No, but they actually
are doing something.
They're doing a lot. I'm not saying that we're not doing a lot here in America, but they're doing a lot for not having a lot, essentially. Especially politically. Their politicians, other governments, and like the local organizations at provincial levels are like really on top of the plastic pollution control and solid waste management. So
nice.
I applaud them for that.
So you basically solved the problem over there, and now you came over to America?
No, I was far from solving any problems over there, but it gave me a new perspective on how to work with different people. And honestly, the people here in Miami and South Florida, the way they go about their problems and the way they go about environmental justice issues is very different than kind of what we did in Minnesota. And it's very different than what we did in the Philippines. So just seeing how different people react to it, how people want to get involved and how you get them involved is very interesting to me.
Nice.
Yeah.
So tell me a little about your background. Where'd you go to college? What'd you study? How'd you get into this?
Yeah, so very few marine science-oriented people in Minnesota, as you can tell, very landlocked. But I went to school for fisheries biology and conservation biology. So I stayed there, and they promised me, yes, we'll find you a professor with marine biology background. And I said, okay. I don't know if that's a loose promise, but they ended up, giving me a professor, and I studied ocean currents and ocean hydrothermal vents for a while. And then I applied for the Peace Corps, actually, after my undergrad.
Sweet.
And that's how I got to the Philippines.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was doing coastal resource management, so helping them manage their fisheries, helping them solve their solid waste management. Yeah.
The Peace Corps is amazing.
It is, yeah. It's great. Not only just like for going out and teaching people new skills elsewhere, but also for that internal skill development for people who come back to the U.S. Our Peace Corps volunteers, and then we spread that message out as well, and how to get people involved. It's really great for both ends, for the communities that we serve as well as back in America.
Nice. So how long did you spend over there?
2.5 years.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. And you got to travel, I'm guessing, a lot, right? Did you travel?
I did, but I only traveled in the Philippines.
Okay.
I only went around. I really wanted to see the Philippines for what it was. And
cool.
Every island is different. It's very amazing.
How many islands did you go to?
Oh boy, maybe about 15.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but there's like 7,000, so I feel very unaccomplished.
Okay. So I like that you're taking, I see water, whether drinking water, water for crops, water tide rate, like our water problem in general is going to be the next like gas problem. Like gas was the last and they're going to electric. Now I look at what, I mean, at least from what I've seen, I don't know as much as you because you're a pro at this, but I'm seeing drinkable water is a huge major challenge, but also water rise is even a bigger challenge.
Yeah, because once you start talking about water supply, our freshwater drinking supply, so like right in our mission, swimmable, drinkable, fishable water. So when the sea level rises, it actually does a thing called saltwater intrusion, which is basically where saltwater comes from underneath Florida and could eventually compromise our aquifer, which it is already doing it, but at a certain rate. Mm-hmm. But once it gets to that certain point, then all of our well water, all the water that we draw out of the Biscayne aquifer, which is where we get all our fresh water, will eventually become saline and more saline and become undrinkable. And so one of our main pushes for Miami Waterkeeper is to also help recharge the wetlands. So over the Everglades, we want to think about new ways that we can use fresh water and maybe put more fresh water into the Everglades, because then that'll recharge our aquifer and keep it from all that saltwater intrusion.
Could we pump it?
So yeah, there's different ways.
It's expensive though, right?
Yeah, there's different ways that we can manage it and try to figure it out. But and here in Miami-Dade County, I don't know if this is for sure, I don't know the exact number, but around 80% of our wastewater is not reused. It's just kind of sent out in outfall pipes out into the ocean. And so if we can find a way, it's expensive, but we can find a way to kind of treat that water and send it back in, whether that's not just to potable, so drinkable, but we can send it back into a controlled environment near the Everglades or over one of our well fields and recharge the aquifer as an option.
Wow, that would be cool.
It would be awesome. And it's all these kind of systems, these technologies that's really needed in South Florida. We're ground zero for climate change, whether that we're talking about cyclones, sea level rise, anything, honestly. I mean, Florida gets touched by it.
Big sharks.
Big sharks, yeah. We don't have forest fires, unfortunately, not unlike California, but we do have a lot of the other things that we see with climate change. And we're seeing it every day now. There's daytime flooding in Miami Beach. So when you see like there's like flooding in the streets, but it's like sunny and not raining.
You're like, what's going on?
Like, why is this flooded? It's because that's all salt water coming up.
In the pipes?
Yeah, through the drains, through the storm
drains, yeah. That's not good.
No.
So they're saying they're just going to pump it out.
Yes.
But can you really pump that much water out?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
But it costs a lot.
It costs a lot. And like, how efficient are those pumps? I'm not an engineer. I'm not really sure how these pumps are doing, but I just know that, yeah.
But I heard they're pumping it.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Which means they're still flooding, which means their pumps need more pumps.
Yeah. Well, we definitely need more pumps if that's the solution that they want to go with.
Huh.
Yeah.
So, okay. This podcast is very challenging. So what do we do? What do we do?
I know, and that's the thing. It's like, what do we do? That's Miami Waterkeeper. We have so many different issues that we're trying to tackle, and we're tackling it all at once whenever it comes at us. Whether that's a commission hearing, all of a sudden, last minute, like, hey, we're going to talk about this, come and speak, and like we have to jump on it. That between our regular education program, it's like, what do we do?
So, how many kids do you have that you guys work with every year?
Oh boy.
A lot?
No. Our junior ambassador program, we have between 20 and 30 kids for the junior ambassador program, but our outreach and education efforts with schools, just this week we did about 250 students.
Awesome.
It was very unique week. We had a lot of different field trips and different partners, but we just never know how many kids we're gonna reach, and and our messaging changes depending on the issues that we're having at that moment.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting because I know my kids would love this kind of stuff, and it would be amazing even to do a science project where we pick something with the Everglades, or we pick something with like Miami Beach, and we do mock-ups or models or ideas on what to do. And then we could take those and we have the kids take them. Because I think when kids take them to city commission or people in power, it's a different model. Like, how do you tell a kid no? Like, you can.
Or how do you not give your full attention to a kid?
Correct.
like when they're talking.
Yeah, right. And if they don't and you're on camera, you look like a, not a caring person.
Yeah, exactly.
So what would be interesting is having a competition. I'm not sure if you've ever done that, but that'd be amazing because I know you guys could use more talent, right? Do you have volunteer programs?
Yep, we do.
So how does somebody get to you for volunteering?
Yeah, so if you go to our website, essentially miamiwaterkeeper.org, you can go to our upcoming events tab, and
Cool.
it basically shows whether that's a commission hearing to come and speak, all of our volunteer events. We also give, at least once a month, we do community trainings on how, basically a pollution monitoring and reporting training.
Okay.
We train people how to identify pollution, how to report it, and then send it to us, and basically, go out and they can do their own little water patrols. Because there's only 6 of us, we can't patrol all the miles of waterways. MiamiWaterkeeper.org, you can go to upcoming events, and you can see we do different events through the city of Miami. We help them out with their restoration projects. So Virginia Key, Simpson Park, Alice Wainwright, and various different volunteer opportunities for cleanups.
Okay. And if somebody wants to donate to you guys, where do they go?
Our website as well. You go on there and there should be a donate page,
Okay.
a donate button, and we also have a fundraising page, so you can start your own little fundraiser and choose one of our campaigns that you feel strongly about.
So that'd be cool to have companies fundraise, maybe teams, and they fundraise against each other. That'd be cool.
We have a lot of different companies, corporate sponsors that actually agree with our mission, and they come out and help us either raise money, or they give a certain gift, and we go out and do a coastal cleanup and teach them about sustainable practices. And there's lots of different options for people to get involved, whether they're a company, individual, family, student, teacher.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You guys check out their website, check out what they're up to. Come and spend a day with them doing a cleanup. Bring your team, bring your family. Bring your family. Like bringing a family out to do a community service project. Every high schooler in South Florida has community service they have to do.
Yeah.
So tap into that. If you guys are a kid or you're a mother, father, or uncle and aunt, send your kids to go impact the environment, and the kids will understand and grow up to live cleaner lives. So thanks for coming on. You want to plug anything?
Nope, I'm good. Thanks. Center
for Social Change. Thank you, Center for Social Change.
Thank you. Miami Waterkeeper. Visit our website. You can visit all the different campaigns we have and things that we're doing. So.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.